Media presentation, talent system, and monk. You can take the talent system, I'll do the monks.
Talent system. The idea behind the talents were adding ways for players different. Just kidding. Let's take that from the top. The idea behind the talents was adding a way for players to differentiate themselves and customize their abilities and utilities. If you came back to the game, you go to a website, and find the right build for your spec. Take that and never interact with the talent system again. Most of the new talents don't add player power directly, but instead give you the benefit that is very difficult to weight mathematically. In the case where the talents do provide power, they're on a tier with two other talents that provide an equal amount of power. It might be different ways of measuring the power. Maybe it is a random proc versus something you can press on demand. So instead of a mathematical turnout, you can just basically the way you do it creates the power.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't feel like you have to take a certain talent. If you're a healer, you can take any of the three talents and have fun with those. The Tome of the Clear Mind is in the new consumable used for the changing glyphs and talents and only costs a little bit of gold. Monkage.
Speaking of which, I mean, in Cataclysm, gold came so easily. Just going from 80 to 85, you'd make 5 to 10k gold just from questing.
See, I am still wondering how you did that because I've only made like 200 gold and I've went from 82 to 84.
I don't know how you've only made 200 gold.
That's what I'm saying. I'm finishing all the damn quests too.
I mean, you get like 16g per quest. But, I mean, since the quests are going up, I assume we'll be making probably 30 to 50 gold per quest now, just leveling up to 90. So I think gold is going to be a dime a dozen, no pun intended. But, it's, monks. Are you excited about monks?
I am.
I'm excited about monks.
Tell me about them.
Alright. There are a ton of new animations for the monk, and a lot of spell effects that are in place now. Almost every ability has a unique animation. If you are in healing mode, you will be using a slightly different animation than if you are in a melee DPS mode. Currently, every race except Goblin and Worgen can learn the ways of the monk, which I agree with. That's perfectly fine. The way it works now is if you are in melee or tank mode, you will have an energy bar, but there are only a few abilities that use energy. There are a couple attacks that use energy, which build up a second resource, which are the white spheres called chi.
Okay.
They are really trying to capture the feel of a button masher fighting game where you mic chain combos together. They don't want it to feel like our existing warrior class, so they don't have a charge, but they do have a roll that works more like a blink. There is another ability that lets you fly until you hit a button again and then you come down. I did read about that. I'm not at all sure how I feel, because couldn't you basically just fly straight, like all the way across the map? Because it's actually a speed boost, which we'll get into once we look at the talent system in another video. But, I mean, could you basically just fly all the way across Warsong Gulch? Like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Spinning Crane Kick is the big AoE spell. Fists of Fury is one of your big 3 combo point attacks. Windwalker is the melee DPS spec. Brewmaster is the tanking spec, which of course I will be learning because I'm the master of tanking. And
I'll do the healer.
And Mistweaver is the healing spec. If you become a Mistweaver, your energy bar is replaced with a mana bar, and you can cast heals, much like our other healers, but you stand toe-to-toe and do some melee damage still. Which is very interesting, because what they were saying is, you'll be up, because to create energy, or to create chi, I believe you have to, jab, and like they were saying, button masher, so you'll be just repeatedly pressing jab over and over.
It sounds like Mortal Kombat, or like,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like spamming your frickin' keys in different ways to make frickin', yeah.
So, what I've heard is that by doing specific moves in order, you'll basically create different types of AoE heals that kind of spread themselves among the entire raid, which I think looks very interesting, and I'll probably end up trying it out.
Oh no, you can be the tank. I'll be the Mistweaver, and then we'll switch.
Well, dual spec, bro. Dual spec.
That's what I'm saying. We'll switch every once in a while.
Alright. Dungeons. Which would you rather talk about? Storm Stout Brewery or Scholomance?
You know how I am with the breweries.
Alright.
The Hosen have invaded the Chen Storm Stout. I can't say that name. Storm Stout has tasked you with clearing them out. They are having knife fights, seeing things, and sleeping because they got into the beer.
Yeah,
Sense.
drunk monkeys, bro.
You run around on barrels trying to break up the party. And after you defeat enough of them, Ook Ook, the boss that is up on the ledge, will come down, and the first boss encounter here will start. The second section has the vermin, which are evil, crazy bunnies that will eat anything.
They look cool, okay? Don't dismiss it
The
yet.
biggest vermin of them all is Hoptalis,
Oh
the
my.
next boss.
Oh,
He has a whirlwind attack and a carrot breath that you have to avoid. Alright. The third section has old beer that has gone bad and has come alive. It has storm brew, elementals, and spirits.
my god.
The final boss is Yanzu, the uncast. The uncast. He is a beer elemental. That's kind of cool that they're bringing beer back into the game. Cause I remember that they used to, and remember next to, it was over by Dead Mines. There was a guy that you had to go and give him some like hops and stuff.
Ah,
They took him out of
yes.
the game.
Yep, up on top of the mountain.
Yeah. But now it looks like they're bringing him back, and it's going to be extra freaking reputation. All
Dude,
that
there's a
stuff.
spec called the Brewmaster. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Alright, how do you, like, honestly, from an immersion point of view in the game, how do you think you'll react to going in there for the first time and seeing a beer elemental? It seems a little bit silly to me.
Dude, the freaking Mr. Hoptalis over there, the giant bunny.
Huh.
That's more crazy to me than a beer elemental. I mean, like, beer's a living thing as it is, because the yeast and everything.
I mean-
but I mean, a giant bunny. Like, is Blizzard stretching it here? Or are they running out of ideas? What's going on? All right, we have a giant bunny. What are we gonna do next? Freaking dancing clowns that are gonna be a boss? Come on.
That would be creepy, I'm not gonna lie, I hate clowns. But,
You know what I mean, though? It's like, what, are we gonna have little fairies as the, like...
I think personally, Blizzard with their jokes and stuff, it can be funny at times, but this whole dungeon of Storm Stout Brewery really seems a little bit silly to me because you have drunk monkeys with a leader named Ook Ook, a giant rabbit that has carrot breath, and an elemental made of beer. Which for a brewery, I mean, I guess it could work if it's like the beer has been manifested by shot. Like maybe that could work, but I mean,
I think it would make more sense if the whole thing was beer elementals and stuff.
I'm just not sure how I feel. We'll have to see how it plays out, but right now I'm a little bit against the silliness of it. So, Scholomance. The artists have added a lot of new art throughout the dungeon, including new undead models. Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Of
Just
course,
for the
they aren't for players. New lighting and particle effects have been added as well. Jan Disparov still uses a lot of illusions to try to attack you, but they have been able to really punch up that encounter a lot. Lillian Voss is now in the room full of skeletons being raised, and she is here for revenge against Dark Master Gandling, who is taunting her. The old classroom had benches added and creepy paintings on the wall that are always watching you. Wow. That is kind of creepy. Dark Master Gandling is the final boss, again, who still sends you into his rooms with undead that you must fight your way out of. So there's new bosses and everything except for the final boss, which appears to be the same exact fight. So there will
Something will change. Something has to change.
Yeah, it has to. There will be 9 level 90 heroics for players, as well as 3 raids with 14 raid bosses. All of the raids are going to have 3 difficulties. In Cataclysm, so much of the mind share went into the revamp of the level 1 through 60 zones and the creation of the content itself that they really didn't have an opportunity to create a lot of those new types of gameplay elements. So
they're adding more dungeons and stuff because
they're going to add more immersion type
whereas
mechanics
the
for
last
bosses.
expansion where it was just revamping the entire world.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, with the raids, I remember the 3 raids that came out with Cataclysm being Blackwing Descent, Throne of the Four Winds, and Bastion of Twilight. One of the fights basically was kill the ads and don't stand in one half of the room. So I'm hoping with this one, since they don't have so much land and questing content to focus on, hopefully they'll bring some new immersing types of mechanics to the game.
Yeah.
Alright, scenarios. To
We
enter,
talked about this.
yes, to enter a scenario, you'll queue up for it like you would a dungeon. Each scenario is designed to take roughly 10 to 30 minutes to complete, and most are some slice of the world that has been carved out to give you things to do as a group that you would normally wouldn't be able to do while questing. People were not doing group quests because they couldn't find people in the past, so now group quests are something you can queue for. The instancing provides the ability to make that there aren't... Okay. The instancing provides the ability to make that there aren't different groups competing for the objectives and causing problems for each other.
Oh, I hated when that happened.
The UI will present a number of objectives once you enter the scenario. I like that. I do. I like that. It's like a mini quest log. For example, you can help the brewmaster create her lightning logger that can only be brewed while it's raining and in the middle of a thunderstorm. This is done by defending the brewery from the Sarok while putting out the fires. Scenarios don't use the traditional tank healer DPS setup, which would be slower. Combat is more similar to questing than dungeons. There should be at least 5 ready for launch, but there may be more. Scenarios will reward Valor points. Alright, you get Pokemon.
Oh. Pet battle system, Pokemon. Anyways, next, challenge modes.
Alright.
That's how excited I am for that.
That is exactly how excited I am too.
Alright, for years, Blizzard has wanted to have mini-games in the World of Warcraft. All that makes sense with the farming. And Pokemon. They've also always wanted something more for pets, and they didn't know what to do for them. But the pet battle system allows for a perfect solution for both. It gives players something to do after dungeons, raids, challenges, scenarios, and battlegrounds. Pet UI has been fully updated. On the left, you'll see a list of all the pets you have and all the pets you don't, as well as where to find those pets. That's kind of neat where you find them. When you click on a pet, you have it. It will pull up a pet card with all the information on the pet. So this looks like it seems like anybody can do it, not just hunters and all that.
Alright, one point that I have to bring up. There's wild pets that you can just find. My question is, will there be a small cutscene that says you've encountered a wild Pidgey, and then have a little Pokeball pop out your one that you want to fight them with, and then are you going to have to catch them with a burlap sack?
Alright, stretching it. But, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a... You know how when you open crates and stuff like that, maybe it's just going to be like that to capture it.
I think it'll be... Okay, do you remember in the Worgen starting zone when you had to save Chance the cat? And you went over there and you just right-clicked the little cat and it had like the little looting thing on him?
Yeah,
I think that's how it'll be. You'll just find one and you'll right-click it and he'll be yours.
Oh, sounds... Okay.